close the door, Eric. This is behind closed doors. What happens here stays here. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. We have people from all over the place here, from London, from California, from Kuwait. My name is Ziad Abdelnour. I'm President and CEO of Blackhawk. We're here for one thing only, to empower people, educate them as to what's happening out there, what are the opportunities out there available for wealth creation. It's all about wealth creation. When I started the organization a year and a half ago, we barely had 15 to 20 attendees for our events. Right now, we have around 600 to 700 attendees every year. Our speaker tonight, Allen Schwalb, is one of the most prominent financiers for the entertainment industry. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Allen Schwalb.
Thank you, Ziad. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And somebody has to do the financial thinking for this country. And thank you, Ziad, for the initiative you've taken with FPC and the job you're doing and your accomplishments with FPC. Now, FPC's goal is to ensure, as I've learned, is to ensure and retain Americans' leading role in free enterprise and wealth creation in the global economic community, correct? I don't know of any industry other than the entertainment industry that has really took that and put it exactly where it is, becoming the country's second largest export, other than the aerospace industry. I had the privilege and honor to form a joint venture with Warner Brothers, and for 4 straight years, I financed every single Warner Brothers film in 4 joint ventures in 4 successive years, and ended up financing a lot of interesting films like 3 Superman films, 3 of Clint Eastwood films, one of which has gotten a lot of notoriety and publicity over the last few days, namely a film, the Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry film, Sudden Impact. You know, go ahead, make my day. Well, I can't tell you how many phone calls I've gotten in the last week regarding everybody calling me up, Allen, make my day. Then I financed Superman 2, 3, and 4, Rocky 5, Poltergeist 3, and a whole bunch of other numbers, and a couple of James Bond films, as Ziad mentioned, Never Say Never Again and License to Kill. Subsequent to those 4 years where I was partners with Warner Brothers in a joint venture called Warner Brothers Star Partners Company. Star Partners is my wholly owned company. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer merged with United Artists to form MGM UA Communications Company. And they had then asked me to come over there when they were looking to figure out where they were going to get the capital to run not 1 but 2 studios. So they asked me to come over and made me a deal I couldn't refuse. So for the next 3 years, I ended up financing all of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's films and all of United Artists films. And I happened to hit it at a good time because some of the films I was able to finance were Rain Man, Moonstruck, Fish Called Wanda, Thelma and Louise, Overboard, Rocky 5, License to Kill, another James Bond film, Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze, and a bunch of other interesting films. Poltergeist 3 was one as well. And by the way, these films that I was able to finance at Warner Brothers as partners with Warner Brothers and partners with MGM and United Artists garnered 64 Academy Award nominations, for which we won 16. For 6 consecutive years, one of the films I financed was nominated for the Best Picture of the Year. I was asked to speak about the economics of the motion picture industry and the sports industry, and the title of the speech was Investments in Sports and Motion Picture Industries in an Uncertain Economy. Well, I'm here to tell you all, ladies and gentlemen, tonight that in the sports and entertainment industry, there is no uncertain economy. There is no uncertain times, because even in the Depression, and it doesn't matter what's happening in the economic world, whether you have inflation, hyperinflation, deflation, a recession, or a depression, motion picture industry and the sports industry seem to do really well. Like even in the Depression in the 30s, for 4 consecutive years, the motion picture industry grew at greater than a 30% growth rate during those 4 years. And why? I think most of you probably know the reason why. It's escapism. people, when they lose their jobs and they lose their home, they want to escape, so they run to and get a few hours of escaping from the realities, and will go to see movies or go to see a sports game. One of the reasons why I always thought this was two great industries to be involved in, mainly for that reason. I didn't have to worry how the stock market was gonna do or not do. I didn't have to worry about stocks and bonds, or a crash in the stock market. The sports and entertainment industries, for part of the reasons I mentioned, have really been in an 80-year bull market, and the value of sports franchises and film revenues have steadily increased over like 8 decades. There's a lot of other advantages other than the actual economics. For example, tax credits and incentives that mostly all the states here in the U.S. give, and same with a lot of tax credits. We're dealing with some foreign films in the U.K. and Czechoslovakia, and there are plenty of tax credits to go around by those states and countries. And here in the U.S., the federal government, that we've just reenacted this code, IRS Code Section 181, which allows all of you to invest in motion pictures and write off 100% of your investment in that current year. I mean, that's a pretty heavy-duty statement. For example, if you invested that same amount of money in a real estate project, a shopping center, office building, or whatever, you'd write that investment off in 30 years. Here you have the ability to write it all off in 1 year. I think if you stop and think about that, you got 30 times the tax advantages with a motion picture investment than you do with a real estate investment. As far as the sports industry is concerned, it's basically an asset play. The San Diego Padres was sold for $800 million, over 10 times what it was purchased for 17 years ago in 1995 for $70 million. The Yankees was purchased in 1973 for $6.2 million and is currently valued by Forbes at $1.85 billion. That's only 230 times what it went for in 1973. I think there's a tremendous opportunity here for us to take other professional sports teams public. Now, motion picture, same kind of thing. They can generate rapid and high cash flow. Then you have considerable revenues subsequent to the initial theatrical release through all of the ancillary sources of income, which are no longer ancillary. You're not just investing in one industry. You are investing in a half a dozen industries, because you're getting revenues not only from the box office revenues, but you're getting revenues from the cable TV industry, from the network broadcasting TV industry. You're getting it from the music industry and the soundtracks you sell, from the merchandising. A lot of merchandising, as you're well aware, toys, clothing, etc. I think there's a great potential to make a lot of money in the independent film market, which is an area that Star Partners is now concentrating in. And I will say, because I know Ziad wants to cut it short and throw it open to questions, but are you saying it's okay? There's been a tremendous increase in box office revenues and sports franchise. The value of them. I mean, that's a big asset play. Whereas in the motion picture industry, you have a cash flow play. So if you combine those investments, it's great for your portfolio. You've got cash flow and asset appreciation. Anyway, we're getting inundated because of our reputation, experience, background, history, credibility, whatever you want to call it, with many films, projects, and so we are in the process of looking for additional financing sources from individual angel investors, private placements, public offerings. We may be doing some of those. We're looking to private equity groups, hedge funds, venture capital groups, investment banks, and other institutions. Thank you, Ziad, for giving me the opportunity to be part of the Financial Policy Council. Go ahead and make my day. I hope I've made your day.
Thank you very much, Allen.
The Financial Policy Council, the premier fiscal policy think tank on the way.